Yes, I'm back. It's back with another video to show you how much blood is in the markets. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be reviewing some more altcoins for a few people. So I've got Yasmi, I've got Pendle, Ondo, ICP, CAS, WIF, Atom, LRC, Sol and Link. It's part 2 of my altcoin review. And I'll have a quick glance at BTC and Ethereum, see where certain areas where you could be taking your longs. So yeah, let's get straight into it, guys. So I'm going to start with a quick one on BTC. The reason why I took this short, the reason why I've taken 50% off already. So I was looking on the daily, see that we've inverted this, I've got it marked out, inverted this bullish fair value gap here. We inverted it, we tried to push it, failed. So when we failed on that day there, I didn't touch it, I waited. So this is why I'm waiting for confirmations. A lot of people that have been trading, they'll see this here and they call that a hammer. This is why I don't really like to use candle patterns, because to be honest, they're a load of bullshit. That hammer there would, on the daily, people would have longed that, and they'd have probably put the stop below here. They've already been stopped out. And at the minute, all I can see with BTC is there's a lot of manipulation going on, which you will see in crypto. You know, Wall Street keeps selling the shit out of it. So I was saying a long time ago that ETFs that have come in for BTC are not good for BTC. Everybody else wanted it. Everybody else, yeah, they're going to be good. This time's going to be different, blah, blah, blah. We hit an all-time high for the first time before halving, which is also not a good sign for BTC. We didn't want to hit that all-time high before the halving. So that made people think it's going to be different this time, it's going to be different, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's different, but not in the way you wanted it to be different. And, you know, I was saying in the group earlier that Bitcoin and crypto were created for the people. Created for the people so the government didn't have control over our money. Then the people have give back the one thing that somebody created that we had control over. They've given it back to the government because they thought it was going to be a good thing for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, now you're all probably thinking, was it a good thing? I said this when it all started. The big news were coming out. Oh, ETFs are coming out. Bitcoin's going to 100k. Bitcoin's going to do this. Bitcoin's going to do that. And I were telling people, I don't really think it is. I think once these get their grubby little hands on Bitcoin, they're going to start selling it. And people are going to be left holding bags that they don't really want to be holding. When people have bought Bitcoin at these stupid prices up here in the 70k's. And what you down now? So you bought Bitcoin at 70k's because you thought the ETFs were a good idea. You're down 20-something%. And even on the further drop, 29%. I also seen another couple of channels. I'm not going to name these channels, but they're full of crap as well. They were saying, I only think we're going to see like 20% corrections in BTC and things like that because the ETFs. Well, now you're all seeing that the ETFs were a bad idea. And you're left holding bags that you don't really want to be holding. And that's a fine example in certain altcoins that you've probably bought and you're thinking, what the fuck am I holding here? So, BTC, I'll get back to BTC now. That was just my little insight on it. Why it we shouldn't have accepted the ETFs. So, more fool the public, more fool the public. So yeah, the reason why I've took BTC, I'm going to get back into this, and then I'm going to do these altcoins really quick. So that hammer there, people have gone long. Yeah, stopped out, unlucky. I didn't go long. I waited for the liquidity sweep. So we got the liquidity sweep up in these areas. So I went down onto the 4 hour to have a little look on the 4 hour. So like there, we had a little liquidity sweep on the daily. Failed, dropped. Same here again. Tried to come back up. Hit a 4 hour bearish fair value gap. Dropped again. Same again. We got the hammer candle. People like, yeah, it's going bullish. Inverted this weekly fair value gap. Seen it come back into this fair value gap. Couldn't hold it. Went into a 4 hour bearish fair value gap. And I entered there. So when everybody were going long there on Wednesday, I was going short. I took 50% off BTC here. It's not far off where I wanted to take 50%. So I took 50% and I've put my stop loss at break even. So I'm not bothered if it comes back up and takes me out. I'm really not bothered. Because it's probably going to come back up into these areas. It's probably going to chop around here. Tap back into there. Take out that little bit of liquidity there before doing something like this. That's my personal opinion. And we'll see where we go from there. So I'm going to start on Ethereum. Let's have a little look at Ethereum. Now, before I go into Ethereum, I'm just going to show you these areas on BTC, which I've shown you before. So we've got a daily bull here. We've got a weekly bull here. We've got a weekly bull that we're actually trading inside at the minute. Further down, we've got another area of interest here, around 40k. Then we've got another weekly bull that's actually in line with a daily bull at around 46k. That's where I want to take my final bit of profit, 46,861. If it don't get there, it don't get there. Like I said, I'm not really bothered. I've made what I need to make, so I'm not too bothered. Right, into Ethereum. Let's have a little look in Ethereum. So at the minute we've got a weekly bull. I put IFVG because I think it is going to invert that fair value gap when it closes this week. Excuse me. It is going to invert. If it does invert that fair value gap, we are coming lower. And then we've got a bullish fair value gap here on the daily. Around 2.1 and 2.1 off. So it's 2.150 and 2.105. We have tapped into this before. There is a big order block here, bullish order block. So keep your eye on that as well. The ultimate level is this weekly bullish. We've also got a daily bullish fair value gap in these same areas at around 1718, 1775, and the bottom of the fair value gap is 1661. So let's go with that. Into the next one, we have Pendle. Let's have a little look at Pendle. Let's go to the higher time frame. Let's go to the weekly on Pendle. Pendle, can't really see many bullish. There is a bullish fair value gap here between 2817 and 2.614. We are inside that at the minute. If we do invert it, we've got a potential of coming lower. Let's go into the daily. The daily, we are trading inside a small bullish fair value gap there and there. There's two of them. We are actually trading inside them at the minute. We also have another bullish fair value gap between 1.363 and 1.654, but we have tapped that bullish fair value gap. At the minute we are creating bearish structure, so be very, very careful. Pendle would have been an easy trade for everybody if you'd have just seen the structure that we're creating. You know, we created a higher high, and then we created a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and then all you've got to wait for is this forming here. So you see that bearish fair value gap there? If we came in, we've traded inside it, we've created an order block. It's so easy to trade. People just want fast cash. So even if you'd entered there, you'd have had your stop above that area there. You could have even had it tighter above that bearish fair value gap. I would have been more conservative and I would have gone there. You could have seen that liquidity there. Taking your first bit of profit there. Easy 1 to 2. And then you can come along the chart. Look at these areas here. Equal lows that we've not taken out there. Come a bit further down. There's your trade. Easy. Fucking peasy. And if you don't see a setup like that, what do? We sit on our fucking hands. Trading's not difficult. People want to make it overcomplicated by the simple fact that they want the cash fast. But if you only take in these sort of trades here, then you don't need to worry. And then you've not even missed the trade there. So you think, oh, I've missed it, I'm not going to be able to get in. Wait. Because then what we did is, we created another bearish fair value gap here. I'll remove that one a second. So on the daily, we created another bearish fair value gap here. So let's make that out. There we go. Created another bearish fair value gap there. Traded inside that bearish fair value gap there. You put your stop above there. Let's move that 1 second. I'm just trying to make trading easy for you. Even if you'd have entered here. Let's get rid of that. Even if you'd have entered there and you wanted to be conservative, put your stop there above that wick. Because I'm not saying every trade is going to play out. I'm not. But you've got high probability setups in these. So you've entered there. Same area. Have a little look across. Yeah, we've got liquidity lying at 2.253. So I'll go down to 2.253. There we go. It's still a 1 to 3. You've not missed nothing. Stop panicking when you see movements like that. Until we break out of that structure, this bearish structure that we are forming, there's no reason to take a long yet. Okay? So, like I say, I've got another area here on Pendle that I'm looking at $1.643 and $1.356. Keep your eye on that area. If we break out of this structure, if we start to do something like this, and don't create another low, and then we create a higher high, then if we're creating bullish fair value gaps, I will enter along. Until then, what will I be doing? Sitting on my fucking hands. Right, next one, Ondo. Let's have a little look at Ondo. So I'm gonna rip into somebody here on Ondo. Another channel, a YouTube channel that really annoyed me. Really annoyed me. So this YouTube channel, yeah, we're telling people to buy Ondo. So before I get in that, just back to Pendle. Look where we are now at the minute as well. We're at the point of control. We came below the point of control. We fired off. Easy as that. See, it's not difficult. Trading ain't difficult. You want to make it difficult, but it really ain't difficult. So look, if you'd have marked that bullish fair value gap out there, it came tagged into it, created an order block, pushed off, but it's come back into that order block now. And we were below the value area low. So you just need to start integrating these little things into your trading. So yeah, back to Ondo anyways, yeah. So I was looking at Ondo, and there were another channel. Well, let's call it the sausage channel, yeah? We'll call it the sausage channel for the simple fact that it's full of sausages that use you as their liquidity. I don't care. You're not my liquidity. I will trade no matter what. I don't really care what you're trading. I'll do me. So, anyways, back in Ondo, yeah? They're all saying Ondo had a great support area between the 7 and the 8 area. That ain't a support area to me. All that is a load of chopping people in and out of positions. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, Ondo started to create bearish structure here. It broke that structure. It created a bearish fair value gap there between 8158 and 8621. So if you'd have bought Ondo there, what are you holding? At the minute, you're holding a bag of crap. So we had a bullish fair value gap there. Did it hold that bullish fair value gap? No, it didn't hold that bullish fair value gap. What it did is, it inverted that bullish fair value gap, created a bearish fair value gap, and you take a trade. It's as simple as that. It took that liquidity there. The next bit of liquidity that I can see is here and here. So I wouldn't advise taking a trade on Ondo yet, or even buying it in spot yet. Just watch certain levels and areas of interest. Then you can take your trades. So like there, quick one, bearish fair value gap. Let's have a look. Created it, failed to hold the bearish fair value gap. And if it were me, I probably wouldn't have taken that. But you can also take a trade once it taps into these fair value gaps. Take your trade. You go in short. Once you've tapped, your stop's going to have to be high there. Your next area of interest of liquidity is around here. It's a 3-to-1. It's an easy trade. You can even move it further down into these areas. It's a 1-to-4. So we'll see with Ondo. At the minute, we've got another daily bear there between 7280 and 7119, and it is the point of control to give you a little bit of added confluence. So we'll keep an eye on that area on Ondo. Weekly, I don't think there's a lot of data at the minute. Weekly, we've got a bullish fair value gap here between the areas of 3443 and 3052. We had this bullish fair value gap here that it's tapped in. At the minute, we have not, on the weekly, we've not inverted it yet, but we're looking like we are going to invert it. If we do invert it, I can see us taking this liquidity down here and potentially coming into this bullish fair value gap down here before taking off. But we are creating bearish structure, so take it as you will. If we do create this, we've got a bear fair value gap between 9117 and 8238. We've also created another one which we've not finished yet because remember we're on the weekly. 6597 and 6334. They're the areas to keep an eye on. Yasme, somebody wanted me to look at Yasme. Let's have a little look at Yasme. Let me just clean the chart up a second. Yasme on the weekly. Let me get the volume profile in. Yasme on the weekly. We've got a big bearish fair value gap up above us between the areas of 6701 and 5491. The most recent gaps that I can see, we had a bullish one, 2538 and 3416. That on the weekly has been inverted. At the minute we're in another one, which is 2163, 2394. That also has been inverted. The next area of interest on Yasme is between the areas of 0.0679 and 0.01429. That is a weekly bullish fair value gap. The point of control is just below that at 0.00449. Keep an eye on these areas. At the minute, I wouldn't be trading Yasme. Let's go into the daily, have a quick look in the daily. So yeah, that would have lined up perfectly there. We had a fair value gap there. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have taken that trade even if I'd have seen that trade, because it's not even tapped it. Excuse me. We never tapped it, so I wouldn't be taking it. Just keep an eye on them areas for Yasme. But at the minute, it seems to be holding this area fairly well. 0.01607. Keep your eye on Yasme. We have got liquidity lying below these areas though, which we've got an untapped fair value gap between 0.00860, this is the daily, and 0.01092. That also aligns with a weekly fair value gap. We have got an order block here. It's looking like it's a bearish order block. It is green, but it's looking like orders are starting to pile up in there for sells. So I've had to split it into another part. So I've got part 1, this is part 2, and I've split the video into a part 3. So I will catch you in the next one, guys. Part 3 is coming up.